What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today we're going to look at another artisan knife. This one was also donated to the cause. It's not a gift, it's just mine to look at and review by Russell over at Artisan Knives. This is the Artisan Osprey, and this is a stellar freaking knife. Now, you guys may have figured out by now that I really like a good cleaver style blade, and I gotta tell you, the Osprey is a good cleaver style blade. This one is particularly interesting. It is anode out in essentially purple and yellow. It makes for a really unique and interesting handle design. There we go. That's a good look at it. You know, colored, the knives that are like colored like this really aren't my jam. I tend to like black and silver, but this thing is done so interestingly that I have really enjoyed carrying it. And even though it is a beast of a knife, this is a big knife. It is so unique looking that when I take it out in public at the office, people are sort of so caught off guard by how interesting the handle is that they don't notice that I am carrying essentially a short sword, which has worked out really well. This is, well, frankly, one of the best cleavers I've ever had a chance to work with. The design, it is a big, thick chunk of S35VN, but it has this nice high, sort of a saber grind, high flat grind that comes up this way. Because of the swedge down the tip here, it comes to a really nice fine point. But more importantly, it is really comfortable for push cuts. And I am just getting marks all over that blade. I'll try that again. This is a great knife. It really is. This is another one of those knives that when I first saw it, even though I do love a good cleaver, something about it didn't like jump out at me. I think it was, I don't know, honestly what it was. I've passed on it repeatedly. But now that I've had one, and it meets so many of my sort of knife needs, I think I will be getting another one if it presents itself as an opportunity. Let's do a size comparison. Here is the traditional Rat Model 1. As you can see, if we get these things lined up, they actually take up just the same dimensions in pocket lengthwise, but no question at all, the Osprey is a larger knife, although in the handle they're about the same. You just get so much more blade in the Osprey. What else do you get? Well, it's running on bearings. It is a frame lock. It runs very smoothly on those bearings, I might add. Lockup is just, well, we're going to call that about 25%. The action, as I said, on this thing is just stellar. It sits in the pocket pretty well. It does eat up a fair amount of real estate, as you can see, because of the way this is shaped out this way, right? So you're here in the pocket, and you've lost, well, let's take a look. Yep, you've lost just about 2 inches of pocket to the edge of the blade right here. But, you know, I like knives like that. I really do. It is very thin through the handle, and that allows for it to, while it does take up real estate widthwise, it doesn't ride the pocket like a big knife. It really doesn't. It rides the pocket like a much smaller knife. This is, well, okay, what is this? This is just a ton of fun, really. There are a million just regular old knives out there in the world that look just like this and serve a wonderful purpose and do exactly what you want them to. But something like this is more than that. This is a story. This is an interest. This is a ton of fun just to have around. I got to tell you, I don't know if this is the factory edge because this thing's been around a while, but this thing is razor freaking sharp and very, very thin behind the edge. Let's take a look at what you have for blade length here. You have 1, 2, 3, and 3.25. Yeah, 3.25 inches of cutting surface. Just about 3.5 inches overall of blade length. As I said, this has got to be 4 millimeters of S35VN. Dude, this is a great knife. I just said dude, didn't I? Dude and dudettes and everyone out there in the world. Look, here in California, dude is just a term. It's like, hey. This is a great knife. It really is. I love this thing. I'm really glad that Russell dropped it off. I'm glad I got a chance to look at it. You know, it may be a while as these run a couple of $100 in this sort of layout, but you can get these, as they tend to do, in G10 and D2. So if you really liked this knife, you could get one for considerably less money than this one goes for. Now, I kind of like my titanium and my, this is not a super steel, but my more premium steels of that to, you know, that's just sort of the way I am. So I will wait until I can afford to get this. just as it is, although I will likely get either the gray or the black handle. I know this is beautiful. I think it is too. I really do. But it's just not my style. So we're going to do something else when it comes time to get one for me. But if you like interesting cleaver knives, the Osprey, excuse me, is a really good way to go. It's been fun to use. I have used it, and begin? You know, sometimes words just aren't our friends. Again, because of the way this cleaver blade is shaped, it allows you to get down onto the cutting board before your hand hits, with at least the front end and this belly up here on the blade. So it is really good for cutting board use, excellent for push cuts. Again, this nice fine tip makes draw cuts really nice. Now, it's not much of a gas station fighter, although I got to tell you, if you took this thing out and took a good solid swing at somebody, you're going to leave a mark. Not that we'd ever do that, but it's good to know just the same. It's heavy in the blade and light in the handle, which allows for a good swing, which is what you want in a chopping knife. I think this is a beautiful design. I really do. I think that Artisan continues to show me that even though not all their knives are for me, some of the knives just aren't my style, they continue to show me that they make really good knives. This has been a ton of fun, as I keep saying, to have around. It's been fun to use so that I can experience it and share it with you. And to me, that's enough. If a knife is fun and interesting and well made, it's going to come home with me. And so eventually, I will add an Osprey in slightly different dress to my own collection. That's about it, I guess. There's not much else to say. If you like a good cleaver-style knife, and this is just a straight cleaver, it is comfortable in hand, it is beautiful to look at, it is well made, I recommend one of these. There are a lot of options. We're going to get to one a little later this week that are considerably less expensive, but this is a well-done cleaver knife. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to have you here on a regular basis. We'll see you next time.